everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome to part 1 of a new campaign on the channel. Today we're going to be playing some Equestria at War, and it has been too long. I actually am not sure when is the last time I played Equestria at War on the channel, which is maybe last spring, maybe closer to a year, which is really strange because I really like Equestria at War. And recently updated, and I also finished my Kaiserreich series that I had ongoing, so we're going to play some Equestria at War now. We're going to be doing the River Republic, and if you're looking at the thumbnail and the title, I guess you already know that we're going to be going left. We're going to be doing a Socialist run, of which there are actually 2 different branches, but we're only going to play one of them. I might come back and do the other sometime. We'll see what happens, but I wanted to play with the integration mechanics this time, which still will probably involve a decent amount of war, and we're going to probably end on a really big war this campaign if we get that far, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, we'll go ahead and play as the River Republic now. Remember, the first episode of any Equestria at War campaign is going to involve tons of reading, but because these people are the best when it comes to the coding, the calendar is going to go by really fast, and so we won't. We'll catch up. Things will start moving really quickly once we're getting into the meat of the story in the campaign. All right. We'll just go ahead and jump in here. Also, I have got on. I have not tested if it works yet, but I haven't seen any complaints in the Steam Workshop. I've also got on the Equestria at War Super Events submod, so we're going to see how that's going to go. I'm actually going to now go into the custom game rules, and I'm going to just set up some stuff to happen over here in Equestria, which should not affect us at all, but just so we could see some events trigger and see what happens. Yeah, I won't be doing anything that's going to affect my personal gameplay, because when you play in the River Federation, you typically are, you're dealing with the other members, and then you maybe are going to fight the Empire. There could be some stuff down here as well. It kind of all just depends on who you're playing and what's going on specifically, but yeah, no way Equestria ever gets involved unless you're doing the continent of Equestria, unless you're doing a world conquest or something, which I'm not doing here today. I think I did a world conquest once in this game, a long time ago. Anyway, and there's also going to be some other cuts, because I might make a guide to this country. It's been a little while since I did a guide, but I feel like making one for this country. So if there's any cuts, you're going to see them whenever I'm making decisions. That's just me making a save file for future use. Okay, that's it. All right, be right back. Okay, did my setup, and here we go. Should be a whole lot of fun, I think. Of course, we're going to start with the little intro thing that Equestria at War always gives us. Now, I have played the River Republic before, but it has been a few years. I want to say something like, it must have been 2018, certainly not 2019 or later was the last time that I played the River Republic. So it's been a while since I was in here. Okay. A land of tall mountains and fertile river valleys. The River Republic... Hold on, is the music on? It's very quiet. We're going to be doing the Equestria at War music mod, which I don't think has any copyrighted material in it anymore. You know what? We're just going to do Hearts of Iron Classic today, and then I'll upload the first episode, and then come back and record some more. But due to the upload, it'll tell me if any stuff is copyrighted, so we'll just do Hearts of Iron Classic today. If there's, and then episode 2, we'll do the music mod, is what I meant to say, and then we'll just go from there. Okay, a land of tall mountains and fertile. Where's the freaking music? Can't hear it. There we go. A land of tall mountains and fertile river valleys. The River Republic is a haven of peace and prosperity in the heart of the Riverlands. Since gaining independence from Lake City in 357, it has remained free, its natural defenses proving difficult for both griffins and ponies to overcome. It was in the valley of Koltovac where the Emperor of the Griffins, Grover II, fell in battle against an army of united Riverlanders in the year 854. If you want to learn more about that, check out either my Nimbusia or my Yale Rectory campaigns. Ever since that war, River Republic has been closely cooperating with its neighbors, championing Riverlander unity. However, this was not always the case. During the time of the Grand Principality, war was regularly waged with neighboring nations. In 807, Wittenland was attacked and Coldstream seized, but at a heavy cost. In the brutal siege of High Main, many members of the royal family perished. Peace was made when the war against the Griffins began, but the last Grand Princess of Retiograd, Softwater, was grievously wounded in battle. Fearing a bloody succession crisis after her imminent death, she granted all her powers to an elected parliament in 814, so almost 200 years ago. On that day, the modern democratic River Republic was born. Nowadays, it is the most developed and wealthy nation in the Riverlands, with its capital Retiograd being a notable center of trade and industry. It was also the founder of the River Coalition, and the Treaty of Coldstream was signed on its soil. After Chancellor Whirl, who we have now, was elected in 1001, 6 years ago, she began an extensive modernization program, dreaming to make the River Republic into the eastern counterpart of Equestria, a land where she had studied in her youth. For the most part, her plans were successful, and the Republic grew even wealthier than before. But this wealth was not as evenly distributed as she might have hoped, and industrialization introduced its own set of issues, especially for the workers. She managed to get elected for a second term, but this time the Socialists, in a league led by Whirl, are stronger than ever before. For months now, the Parliament building has been filled with arguments and disputes, with a political gridlock threatening to form soon. The Office of Harmonic Services, a secret service whose duty is to ensure the survival of harmony, is becoming concerned and may intervene. If something is not done soon, this age of stability may soon end for the Republic. Alright, so we're just going to skim the region geography stuff. So, large part of the Griffin continent, 3 regions. There's the valley in the south, the Riverlands, which are mountainous, and the Bjorgfjordus, which is the hilllands. It's more underdeveloped than the west because how far away it is from Equestria and other advanced nations. Yeah, shoot, still sure loud enough now, isn't it? Okay, there's a civil war to the south, collapse of the empire, brought changes, whatever. Okay, mechanics stuff. Go check out my Introduction to Equestria at War video to understand this. Here's the changelog. I don't know if any of this... let's see. I don't know if there's anything here that's specifically related to us. Okay. Alright. Oh, what's this? Equestria at War Super Events Configuration Panel. You can configure which super events you want to see. To go to the list of events, select the continent where the corresponding event occurs. By default, all are enabled. To launch this panel manually, use the decision or console command event Equestria Super Event Setting 1. So, Griffonia, select the category that contains the event you need. Riverlands. The status of the super event is displayed. Sorry about that beeping. In the response area, if it's enabled, the event will appear in the game. All right, here we go. Yeah, Riverlands Unification. Definitely want that if that happens. Yeah, River Republic. Everything here is enabled. Okay, to the beginning. I'm sure it's all set. Yeah, exit. There's probably a lot of them. That's probably why they want me to stop. Or, like, disable some. I probably should, but, you know, whatever. We're going to see as many as we can this time. Because, like I said, I'll probably play the River Republic again. And, you know, to try the other socialist path. Because here's just a quick little peek, without going too into it. There's 2 leftist paths you could go down that are pretty different from one another. And there's, like, a kind of a subdivision thing down here as well. But what I might do is, like, I'll play through this one, and we're going to do Democracy Prevails. because I want to try some of the mechanics here, and then I might still do Proletarian Dictatorship in a live stream or as a separate campaign, and then we can kind of go through that one a little bit faster because we're going to have already done a lot of the stuff we're doing here anyway. So I could it's like with suzerain, you know, with the generic events we've all read like 4 times. I just skipped through those. All right, let's start getting ready. It's better production. I want the engineering. Okay. By the way, click this button. We can look at different cities. I'm not going to do the one for my capital right now because there's enough that we're going to be reading in this part 1s, but we'll read that eventually. Okay, we got some civilian factories. Let's just do infrastructure for now. We can modify our government. Not really. So this is Whirl, former teacher who studied abroad at Celestia School for Gifted Unicorns, Harmony Party, Modernization. She's, yeah, there you go. Social issues are happening. All right, we are the city of 3 rivers. This helps with trade deal. Consumer good factories are -2%. We have an unstable government right now because we are split between the harmonic HSR and the left-wing SKR. Both parties have very different ideas and values, so it's not rare to see them block each other's policy proposals. Daily political power plus 0.80. That is terrible, so we got to get rid of that ASAP. Stability is also down, and we are a Treaty of Coldstream members, so we are part of the River Coalition, which has a sort of shared focus tree thing over here. So let me just like quickly overview what I think the goals are going to be for this campaign. Details pending, but we're going to want to go immediately into divided government where we're going to have to figure out what's going on here. I want to go democracy prevails, which is going to turn us socialist. Then we are going to either do, and I don't know yet, I'll have to think about it, Arsenal of Socialism, or Beacon of Peace. So the difference between these two is essentially how we are going to accomplish the goal of unifying this whole area into a socialist union. So the concept would be, if we did the Arsenal path, we could do stuff like this, support socialist partisans, which will make the nations weaker as I go to war with them, because I'll have people working for me on the inside. Or we do Beacon of Peace, where I basically try to peacefully influence the other nations to go more socialist. So, like, you know, Bakaran here is 21% communist already, so that would probably be a lot easier. But, like, the Kingdom of Vittenland is only at 7%, so that would be harder. But the idea was that we would just try to peacefully do it using mechanics, and then we could peacefully absorb them. And so, yeah, that leads to either proclaiming the Socialist Union, which from my reading here is that, like, we'll say we are now the Socialist Union, and people who agree with my with that form of government will join the coalition, and everybody else will not, and then we'll go to war with the ones who are not. So it's like it'll split the republic. Or we could try to do solidarity, which will let us spend political power or something. I'm guessing it's political power to just peacefully eat them up. Of course, there's pros and cons to each way. Right now, I'm leaning that I'm going to try to do maybe Beacon of Peace into solidarity. But I might still do Arsenal, but like I'm just kind of leaning peace, because if I do, which I probably will do, proletarian dictatorship, that's going to involve more war, and so we'll come down here anyway. So, and then down here in the super long term, we can get war goals on other people. So the idea would be that eventually we would fight the Griffonian Empire, which will probably spring up. It's really rare that it doesn't spring up, but yeah, if the Griffonian Empire has reformed and is expanding out here in the west, we'll then go to war with them and defeat them. And the Griffonian Empire is the ones who have been a menace to our pony society in Eastern Griffonia for centuries. And so that's where we will end the campaign. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Okay, yeah, what it'll probably end up happening, because we have this thing in the events and decision thing, is it shows how far everybody is to like a peaceful unification. How how, like, what'll probably end up determining if we do Arsenal, Socialism, or Beacon of Peace is how far along everybody else is. So, for example, if Lake City does the Prince route, or like the Vanguards, where they're not trying to, they're going to go to war, they're not going to try to peacefully unite everybody, and like Nibusia goes full Spartan, and just different things like that. If that is the case, we will probably try to do the peaceful unification. If somebody else is starting to get a head start on us, like, I don't know, the Bakaran Republic or something, they have their own focus tree, right? Yeah. If they're like getting a head start on us, then we'll go to war. Okay, 15 minutes in, let's play the game, shall we? Oh, cool, we have 2 Pegasus divisions at the start. That's nice. By the way, I think the River Republic is supposed to be a mix of, like, I think it's Yugoslavia/Serbia. It's not Japan. Lake City is Japan. It's like partly United States. I don't know. I don't want to get on the board with anybody. I don't want to look like I'm starting anything. We'll just hang out here in the center. All right, let's get off to the races. Horse pun intended. Well, we've already got issues. The chains of commanding, River Swirl. I'm going to kind of skip through a lot of River Swirl stuff. But let's see here. Necessary, Nova Swirl in the Sabor. So this is, I think, our parliament. So, okay, Nova Swirl's going again. Will the Chancellor apologize? I think Nova Swirl is a woman. Will the Chancellor apologize to the ponies outside this building for leaving them in the lurk? Aren't they aware that most of our ponies never had it this bad? Nova's rant had lasted over 40 minutes. The River Republic attend a summit to bring together the coalition and renew the Treaty of Coldstream. Alright, uneasy lies the head. Okay, yeah, so basically all the River Federation people were about to have a big meeting. And also Nova Swirl's pissed. Okay, poverty issue. One of the bitterest and most acrimonious disputes between the Harmonists and Socialist parties is the issue of poverty. Thousands of mares and stallions live on barest subsistence, and it is extremely hard for any of the poor to find gainful employment. The stagnation has continued for several years now, and both sides blame each other for failing to act appropriately. The Harmonists, being the majority party, have proposed a bill that would increase investment in industry and infrastructure, arguing that this growth would create new jobs for the poor to take up and lift themselves out of poverty, while the Socialists are unconvinced, preferring the implementation of extensive social welfare programs. Nova Whirl, leader of the Socialist Opposition Party, has condemned the Harmonist plan, calling it the Fat Cat Benefit Act. And has are there cats in our world? But seriously, has threatened to expel any socialist that supports it from her party. If more than 90% of her party follows her line on this issue, then the Harmonists may fail to secure a big enough majority to pass the bill. All right, give me a cut so I can make a save file. Okay, so we're gonna say Nova Whirl cracks the whip and kills the bill. Then we'll see what happens. Okay, we've got here politics of the Riverlands. We can close this. Let's close streams of the Federation for right now as well. All right, emergency powers bill. Yeah. So basically, this lets me do emergency stuff if I'm scared of the communists. I think this is how you can like set up a dictatorship. We're not going to be doing that, so it doesn't really matter. Public blames the government, despite the fact that Nova Whirl's Socialist was responsible for the government's plan being killed. The public is not privy to everything that happens in the halls of power. As such, the Harmonist... Why didn't they just watch C-SPAN? As such, the Harmonist Party are taking the blame for the government's inaction and seeming impotence in the face of the poverty crisis. Opinion polls show support for the government being corroded as the people slowly begin to believe that they might just be useless after all. Those bourgeois fools had it coming. So we lose stability, and Harmony gets less popular. So good start. You know, we're at only 38% right now, so we got to work our way up. Warm welcome. Good days, bad days. Water Lily has arrived. Works so well. Summit. Yeah, it's just this. The River Summit is happening. That's. All right, delegates to the Coldstream Summit had all arrived in time, welcomed by Chancellor River Swirl. So yeah, everybody's here, you know, from Lake City, from Deponia, from Bakaran, from Diamond Mountain, Sent the daughter, or came with the daughter, Vittenland. Yeah, everybody's here. Lavish state dinner, ended a demonstration of techniques. Diamond Princess was the revelation of the night. Yeah, whatever. The rural-urban divide. Time for another save file. The second issue to cause dissent in the parliament, the sabor, is that's kind of funny to me that it's called the sabor. In fact, I'm flashing back. I might have said this many years ago, but sabor means flavor in Spanish. But it's because so I like salsa music and well, not just salsa, but a lot of Latin music because I grew up in a border town. So like Carlos Santana is one of the top 10 guitarists ever for me. I should say favorite, all these things are subjective, but I'd say he's in my top 10 pretty easily. But yeah, one of the things you'll hear in salsa music, in Latin jazz, in Santana's music is, someone is talking about sabor, which is like the flavor of the music. So that's kind of funny to me that the parliament is called that. Like, you go in and... Instead of the Pledge of Allegiance, they play like Oye Como Va or something. Or, I don't know, that'd be weird. So, the issue of rural and urban versus urban concerns. The Harmonist Party draws much of its support from the rural farming population, while the Socialists rely almost entirely on urbanites and factory workers for their votes. However, in recent years, the farmers have begun to feel that even the Harmonists are not really their friends, as they have spent more and more time dealing with budgetary and economic concerns and less time addressing the issues that matter to them. They complain of a lack of good infrastructure, making it hard to sell their crops, of the high cost of fertilizer, making farming less profitable than it could be, and especially of the lack of policing in remote rural areas. River Swirl absolutely cannot afford to lose the farmers' support, and so she has drafted a rural development plan with a view to consolidating their loyalty to Harmony. The Socialists, understandably, are less enthusiastic about this plan. While they cannot scupper the bill entirely, they are advising that it be amended substantially to spread its funding between urban and rural areas, a move that would benefit them and only them. The only question that remains is whether or not they will be able to secure enough support from the less loyal Harmonists to get what they want. I'm going to say enough Harmonist effect that the bill must be amended. Alright, yes, yeah, this is the emergency powers thing, so we are not going to be doing that. Practically a vacation. Some people see the summits of George, River Swirl. Yeah, so she's like having a good time. Like, oh, I'm not dealing with Nova Whirl. I don't have to deal with politics back then, and we're just all having a good time. Yeah, who says work and life can't mix? Like she's a true blue believer in the River Coalition, and why not? It's named after her, presumably. Bridging the divide. As we predicted, the project of investing both in rural and urban areas has provided the most benefit for all. Some worried there would not be enough money to ensure that anything significant got done in either area, but this turned out not to be a problem, thanks to excellent scientific management principles. This has significantly eroded support for the Harmonists and expanded our base among the farmers. Yet more proof of the superiority of scientific socialism. And we got some political power off it. Very nice. So we're already at 43%. We're chipping away. Unlikely coalition. Let's see. So people are talking about it and saying, okay, we need to do something about issues in Longsword, and etc. etc. All right, time for the Coalition General Reporter to draft the final declaration. Let's go and read it to the press. Coldstream Summit Defensive Pact was officially renewed. Condemns the bloodshed occurring in the county of Longsword. I think that's like a little bit off. I think it's supposed to say like the Civil War has started, but it hasn't yet. But let's pretend that it has. So they're condemning the violence. No, because Paulus is like, yeah, the violence is happening even before the Civil War. So the Civil War is an uprising, yeah. So they're condemning what he's doing to the ponies. The warning Count Paulus to end his abuse of native ponies. The agreement also hopes for a peaceful resolution of the Broadfeld Civil War. but the language included in the pact does not pave way for immediate military intervention. So yeah, that's the Broadfield Civil War, which I think when the game starts has been going on for like 4 years. Oh, Red Glad got a new portrait. Nice. Okay. New stuff. The Talzar commune, which means time for another save file. The Talzar commune. The third issue that has come before the cabinet is an odd one. A group of urbanite, upper-middle-class city ponies has left their dwellings in Regiokograd and taken up a primitive agrarian mode of existence in the Talzar Hills located in the state of Koltina, which is, which state exactly? Up here. Okay, so like northeast of the capital. They have begun to forget that they are, in fact, part of our country and ignore the central government's orders. They refuse to pay their taxes, refuse to respect police officers, and in general act as if they were a completely independent country. Things have come to a head, as a tax collector was attacked by the Talzarites when she tried to force them to comply with the law. This has led to fresh tensions in government. On the one hoof, this is a flagrant attack on a government official and cannot be tolerated. On the other, the official was a tax collector, and most of the public is having a hard time mustering much sympathy for a tax collector. Still, there is a general consensus that something ought to be done about these play-pretend farmers. After much wrangling, it has been... Tsar wrangle! Ah! Anyway, it has been argued that one more diplomatic envoy should be sent to tell them to buzz off, but both political parties have suggested their own candidates for the tasks. The harmonists favor the hard-nosed Marshal Hector Lipizan, while Nova Whirl herself has offered to go as the Socialist representative. Yeah, let's have Nova Whirl see to it. Surely the left will, two members of the left will get along, right? Okay. A Nova of emotion. In a moving display, Nova World has announced today the formal establishment of the Talzar commune as an autonomous region of the River Republic. The Talzarites have apparently agreed to pay taxes and follow the laws of our country, providing that we allow them to govern themselves. This decision, which Nova World by no means had the right to make, has been seen as a direct attack on the legitimacy of River Swirl's government. Despite the outrageous overstepping of her own authority, the public as a whole seems to be happy that the issue is dealt with, and no pony seems to be willing to go to the bother of overturning a solution that seems to be working. It seems as if the illegal decision must be allowed to stand. Comrade Nova Whirl's plans are executing precisely as planned. I don't think that's right. That's not proper grammar. But more political power and communist power is ours. We are now officially the majority. Well, not a majority. We have a plurality in the government. But that's good. That's good. Oh, can we get some military staff already? Probably not a very good one. Yeah, no, these aren't good. I think we're going to be doing army experience because while there's a chance we might be doing some relatively early wars, it's probably not going to be for a while, so that daily army experience is going to be extremely useful. All right, Nova makes her move. It is no secret that River Swirl and Nova Whirl hate each other and constantly attempt to undermine each other's positions. But it was only today that their mutual disdain came fully to a head. At the climax of a particularly heated debate, Nova Whirl publicly proclaimed a motion of no confidence in the Chancellor, and as if planned in advance, her entire party followed behind her. This puts River Swirl in an untenable position. She can no longer run a democratic government with at least the nominal confidence of the second largest party. If her own party was united, they might have been able to press on and simply ignore the Socialists. But the HSR is a loose coalition of conservatives, liberals, and social democrats, united only by their fear and mistrust of the SKR. Many of her own party members abstained from voting, or even, shockingly, voted no confidence also, leaving the Chancellor with few options. She will have to go back to the polls. Dissolve the government and hold a snap election, so that's going to take 30 stability away. Ouch. We can now activate electioneering decisions from the decision menu to influence the outcome of the election. Outcome of the election will depend on which party has more support on election day. So that's definitely us. We can slander the socialists, which increase consumer goods. Of course, we don't want to do that. Or we can undermine the government. The workers must be free, and winning this election would be a major step on the road to freedom for them. We must use any means necessary to overthrow the cruel system of capitalism. That's going to take away 10 stability. I really don't think we need to do that. We've already got a plurality. There's still a few more days. I think there's going to be more events here. Coup attempt in Lake City. Didn't work out, though. So that's... Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad for me, but Lake City will not be leaving. Debate in Koltovac. As part of the campaign trail, both candidates have engaged in an extensive debate in Koltovac, as both are well known for hating each other and have intimate knowledge of each other's political foibles. This debate drew a high crowd, expecting to see mudslinging on an unprecedented scale, and they were not disappointed. Though the umpire tried to keep the debate on point, it quickly devolved into a shouting match about who was responsible for the government's inability to get anything done. Police eventually had to disperse the crowd and end the debate prematurely in order to prevent a riot from breaking out. Nonetheless, the crowd on that day was more impressed by Nova Whirl, of course, which that gives us a straight-up majority. So I don't want to sacrifice the stability undermining the government for that 15 boost. I think we'll be just fine without that. We're going to go ahead and end today's episode there on Valentine's Day 10/07. In the next episode, we'll finish up this divided government. And again, keep in mind that probably was good. The first episode is always the slowest episode. We're going to get moving right along, I'm sure, and start getting on the road to socialism and eventually a socialist union for the republic. But I hope you guys are excited for this campaign. I'm interested to play with the mechanics of unification, both war and peace. And I will see you all next time. Please subscribe if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber. I really appreciate it. And y'all have yourselves a very nice day. Bye.